If you're ready, I'm going to talk. I've been giving the closing remarks on behalf of IFSA, the International Forestry Student Organization. So, hello, I'm Simone. I'm one of the co-head of the uh, Youth Forestry Policy Day Task Force in IFSA. And I started this adventure in YFPD a long time ago when I was still part of the IFSA board. And now I'm here to summarize this day. So first of all, I will need your help. So because we need to help to answer the question, what did we learn today? So if you go on Slido, and you should find this tab on Hopin, and we can also see how to do that in the slides, hopefully. We should be able to see it how to do it on slide. Yeah, you should. So this is Slido. You can join Slido here, or you can find it on Hopin on the right. There is like a tab for Slido. So start answering this question in the meantime. Then I will keep going ahead. So I say this session marks the end of the second day of the conference. And for the first thing, I would really like to thank everyone that made this event possible. This event was organized by IFSA and Forest Europe, as you can see. So IFSA and Forest Europe were really the co-organizer. We did everything together. So a big thank you to them for this amazing partnership. I think there was very new way of collaborating between this organization, and we really had amazing results by this collaboration. Then I would also like to thank UFRO and Global Landscape Forum, because they were partners for this event. They really helped in organizing the sessions during this conference. And also, I would take now the moment to thank everyone that spoke today, because without speakers, we will not have this event. Still thanking people, I would like also to talk about the IFSA task force. We had a task force established already more than 1 year ago to organize this event. And so we have Lina here, which was was leading this conference. And then we had Joanna and Paulina, which were working on the workshop day. And we had Nicolas and Erika, which were working on the conference day. And then we had Elif, which was doing all the design magic that you can find around, so all the branding. So really, thank you, everyone. This has been like a great teamwork, and we really be able to make this amazing event happen. The conference today was a bit of a journey when we started from introduction to forestry policy, then to the role of youths. We look in some case studies, and then for transparency. But again, what we want to now know is like, what did we learn from this? And for this, I need your help. So I'm going to have a look at the Slido where you answer your question, because I think it's very difficult to give a summary for me, because like our perspectives are so different. And so yeah, we have a few comments here. The first one is like, how not to give up and keep trying. That's not super policy related, but I would say, but it's really an interesting aspect to consider. Or the forestry policy is actually navigable, and the money plays a big part in it. I like the money plays a big part in it, but in general, like, yeah, the forestry policy is complex, but it's navigable. And we have another answer here. So the importance of suggesting solutions, not only problems, and not to be afraid to take initiative, be active, and not be afraid of failure. I really like this. I think to make change, we need to take risks, so means failing. The importance of involving local community in the decision-making process, and number of challenges we are facing in the future. I guess like, we thank you for your contribution, and hope this was like an idea of what we learned. All of you are going to have their own take, but it's important to really understand what we did during the day. I would like now to share some considerations on this event. YFPD was unique because like it was an event focused on policy, where youth were actively engaged. In fact, more than 90% of our audience was made of youth, which I think is a very great number for our first policy conference. And we hope that this was a way that everyone was able to learn, to get inspired and to engage in your networks, and then also with other youth and professionals. We are aware that this was just a small step in advancing youth involvement in the environmental policy sector, but we are still determined and committed to push the agenda forward. It's important to increase the diversity in youth involvement in policy by including voices from all backgrounds, interests, including all genders. The important aspect here that not everyone needs to be an expert, but everyone should be able to understand policy. This connects well to the need to have more capacity building, knowledge transfer, and networking to be able to actually have youth that are able to interact in the policy sector. And last but not least, we also need a sector that recognizes the importance of youth. By definition, youth are going to be the future of the sector, so investing in the youth today is a very good way to ensure a sustainable future. For IPSA, this has been always of crucial importance. We are the largest international network of forestry students, and we are in a unique position to help students to engage in these global forums. And so we are very happy of what we did today and be able to organize this event. I would like to conclude with three key messages that I have that we get from this conference. The first one, policy impacts everyone. So this means that policy is for everyone. The second one, that it's important to understand the potential, but also the limitations of policy. And the last one, but still important, we need to remember that youth are important stakeholders in the policy processes, even though sometimes it's not always super clear. And before finishing, I have a last message that I would like to share with all the youth that are following this event, but also with every youth in the sector. Attending this event was already a great step forward, but to ensure that our voices are heard and to be better prepared for the future, we need to remember that all of us can get more involved in forestry policy, and we can start now. I will now give the word to Silvia Buscato, that is going to represent Forest Europe. Now we have some technical swapping here, so stay with me with a minute. That's the wrong one. Yeah.
Great, I can see myself on. Thanks, colleague, and I'm glad to see you all online. Thank you, Simone, for passing me the mic. Well, Simone already covered many points, so I will be shorter than expected. Well, I thank you all, first of all, for being with us these 2 days, and don't forget that tomorrow we have an additional session on climate negotiation. But let me wrap up a little bit about what happened today and what I've learned, and how do I think we can continue in the future. So as Simone mentioned, this was a nice January for our Forest Europe team. Myself, Juliet and Vera worked very hard in developing this conference for the youth, to the youth, with the youth, together, of course, with different experts. So I thank you all, our colleagues, speakers, experts that spoke and gave us the availability for being here during these 2 days. So thank you very much. Well, yesterday we, of course, like how can I forget about our IFSA task force team? So thank you all, guys, to be very active, always willing to jump in and to super proactive and very, very motivated also during your free time with us in this journey. So we noticed that yesterday during the workshop, we understood that sometimes we do fear when we grow during our professional life, but also our academia. And of course, we should actually go through and experiment. That's what we learned yesterday. We need to leave our comfort zone. It's extremely complicated, but we can do it. We also understood that there are technological digital tools, and we should, as youth, try it out, because those are not only not simple number, but those are data useful for us to produce very insightful outcome. Also, we understood that how do we get on stage? How do we make this public speaking? So thanks also to one of our sessions, we also get a bit more familiar with this new activity that we can do. We had also the chance to learn a little bit how to organize a conference, how to improve our networking skills, and how to be an interactive book. That was really fun. Well, colleagues, I believe that we had a brilliant collage of speakers, organizers, and collaborators and partners. So thanks again to all of you. And I believe as well that youth power is essential, not only for today, but especially for tomorrow. So we are seeing here that the menu is getting way much richer. And you know, as Italian, I do like to speak about food. Yesterday, we started with Salina talking about cucumber and grapes, but now we had also the cherry on the cake. The cherry is actually the today's event with our conference. The content part was also discussed and the youth were in the center. So thank you all once more. We talked today about what is forest governance, how does policy work. We tried also to understand how those are applied in different regions. We had European cases, African, we have Asian cases, and also American one. We understood a bit more the concept of sustainable forest management. We looked a bit also in how do we halt deforestation together with our colleagues from IUFRO, and we looked into concrete cases of restoration together with our colleagues from the Global Landscape Forum. We also get a strong voice saying that the youth need to produce tangible solutions, so get ready, because this is what is needed at the policy level, and this is also why we should also increase the level of being courageousness, if I can use this word with you today, and as well producing concrete action. And the Youth Call for Action is one of the innovative elements produced, which will be hopefully implemented over the upcoming month. We are discussing as well about gender inclusion, and we also discussed lately today about forest finance, a complex topic. I promise we spend a lot of time in trying to break it a little bit more, because we understood not everybody is familiar with the topic. And I thanks as well our speakers, because I believe that we break it in a very nice construction here. And we understood that it's important actually to consider forest finance when we look into climate change, biodiversity conservation. When we look as well into we understood that there is a gap, a very big gap into public financing, and we need to apply innovative sustainable financing scheme. And our colleagues also showed us the example of the Landscape Resilience Fund, the example also shown with the ecosystem services certification, and also how we could engage further the private sector in involving within the sustainable financing in order to fulfill these goals in the forestry field. So we need commitment by government. We need also the willingness by the actors. So we talked a lot about many topics around forestry, but as we know, the forestry field, it is not so easy. It's a complex element, and we need to look a bit more into the landscape point of view. We understood that we need as well to leave our silos and really be open to establish transparent dialogue for additional and for improved youth inclusion. So here on behalf of Forest Europe, we are very glad that we had this occasion, and we are also glad to say again that we are extremely happy to collaborate constantly with IFSA and with other youth organizations, because we believe that they are needed in policy making, and we will make sure that this will happen in our ministerial conference in 2024 in order to move together and to move forward. So from our point of view, the youth are the energy and the passion that we need in our room. Thank you, Simone, and I give you back the floor.
Thank you, Silvia, for your very nice words and for your closing remarks here. Now, actually, I'm going to give the words to Elvis, which is going to represent GLF. So, yes, hi, Elvis. The floor is yours.
Thanks very much, Simone. Hi, everyone. On behalf of the Global Landscapes Forum and the Youth in Landscapes Initiative, we wish to extend our sincere thanks to International Forestry Students Association and Forest Europe for putting together this amazing Youth Forest Policy Days event. I mean, it's not easy really putting together an event. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of front and ends, but you managed to really pull it off. And a huge thank you to our audience. It has been truly a great couple of days together. We hope you have benefited from the past 2 days of the workshop and also the conference itself. Yeah, please also join me in thanking our fantastic speakers in the different plenaries and workshop sessions since yesterday, without whom, I mean, this event would not have been possible, but they have been able to come and share with us their knowledge and their expertise, and also to interact with us. Yeah, this conference is for youth and by the youth. And our hope is that each and every one of you can leave this conference feeling empowered, positive, and fully supported by this great network. I hope that the contacts that have been made here will continue in the future, as I'm convinced that they are really very useful. And as the movement towards ecosystem restoration and conservation continues to grow worldwide, we as young people play a key role in establishing the tone of the present and the future that we want to really construct. And that is why we really need to engage in policy discussions. And of course, we strive towards a world where forests are seen as an answer for the improvement of the quality of life of the local communities. Yeah, so we see forests as our source of life and our pathway to our collective survival. The time to act is now, and we hope that after this event, you feel even more motivated to continue to construct alternatives for the struggle against the climate and biodiversity crisis that affects all of us. Yeah, we've already had very complete summaries from the different sessions, and I'll not even try to repeat them here, but instead I would like to share probably my personal reflections from the conference. Of course, there is a dire need for us as young people to really get involved in forest policy discussions. There is really nothing about us young people without us. The better future that people are trying to create is our future, and the future of probably our kids, and we must be part of that creation. And policy has a greater influence on some of these things. So this is, of course, evidenced by youth involvement in events like the World Forest Congress, where, of course, there was a youth outcome statement at the end of the day. So this gives us a clear picture that, the future is bright as far as young people's involvement in discussions relating to policy. And then secondly, we need to break silos and work together as young people when addressing the problems facing the wildest forests. Otherwise, if we continue working in isolation, our efforts may not really skyrocket to what we really need. But if we come together, our efforts will really produce the results that we really desire. Then we also need to have a change of mindset towards a solution-oriented and a research-driven kind of approach to policy. We can't keep on having discussions around just problems in policy. We need to create the solutions that we need to see in our communities. Yeah, then, of course, there was a very loud issue of access to funds, which was, of course, evidenced in the different plenaries and throughout most of the sessions. And of course, we need to have a shift from looking at what opportunities are available, but also go deeper into sharing with young people how they can actually take advantage of these opportunities. I mean, if these fundings exist, how can young people tap into them? Those are the discussions that we really need to get into. Otherwise, thanks very much, everyone, for joining us for this Youth Forest Policy Days conference. And please feel free to also follow the Global Landscapes Forum and Youth in Landscapes Initiative on social media. Sign up to the Yale newsletter, which always has a lot of opportunities for young people, and of course discussions around different aspects and also related to policy. And you can also get involved in our projects. We have a call for the 2023 year internship and also regional project teams and many other upcoming projects. So we are just making sure that there is a chance for everyone to be part of this inspiring and welcoming community. So I urge you to take these opportunities and get involved. And of course, don't forget to share with your networks, because sharing is caring. Thanks very much, Simone. Over to you.
Thanks, Elvis, for your comments and for your speech. I'm going to give now the words to Nelson Grima, which is representing your UFRO. So thank you. Welcome, Nelson. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Simone. As previously mentioned, there has been already a few summaries, great summaries of what has been discussed today and yesterday. So I don't want to repeat all those things. So I would prefer to give you my personal take on all this. And the thing is that even if I like to consider myself young, I'm technically not anymore since a long time ago. So for me, it's really good to see that so many young people are interested in forestry in general and forest governance and forest policy in particular, because for me, actually, forestry is a long-term race, and things have to be planned, keeping that everything is going to be for years in advance. And all this can be done only keeping a fresh mind, keeping a fresh look on it. And that's why I think that having always young people entering the field of forestry is good. And also young people have usually more motivation or more ideas that older people tend to have forgotten or not have anymore. And I think it's great that it's great to see all this motivation also on the questions posed to the different speakers, on the willingness to participate, on the willingness to even volunteer for projects, to just get the experience without even being paid for. But it's great to see all this. And I personally encourage young people and students to have this this proactiveness, to get involved early on different stages of projects. And in our case, from UFRO and from GPEP, we try to give a first step into the professional world. We try to hire young people, sometimes even students, to give them this opportunity that years ago these opportunities didn't exist. And now I think it's great to have the possibility to work with these young people that can bring in new ideas and motivation, and we can offer these first steps into career in forestry, which we all know it's not so easy to get. It's not so easy to get it for the long run. So these are my takes from these days, and I think it was great, and I would like to thank both IFSA and Forest Europe for organizing this. And I think all the attendees who were here and who were following all the talks, I think they could get a lot from it. So thank you all.
Thank you, Nelson. And with this, I would really like to close this event. It's been like 2 intense days, but actually a very important thing to say here, which is that the YFPDs are not over. We still have a third day. We closed this day, but we still have two very interesting workshops tomorrow. They're going to be about climate negotiation simulation. So you basically can really try to do this, see this policy, this negotiation aspect firsthand. You really try to see how it works, what doesn't work. So make sure to join us tomorrow. You can find all information on the website. We start at 9:30 UTC plus 1 for the morning and at 16 UTC plus 1 for the afternoon session. It's the same workshop, so you can join either the morning or the afternoon when you prefer. And really hoping to see you, all of you there. And also something important, I would like to thank the BML colleagues and Forest Group colleagues for helping with the logistical part, for giving us this room, and also the technical support for actually the cameras actually running this event. Is something very important to be able to have a successful event. Again, thank you everyone for making this day happen, and